that what you said?
Yeah, like this show is going to be,
Oh.
it's a big deal now.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a one and done thing.
Well, you know, it didn't happen automatically. First of all, I thought it was about cowboys. You know, I didn't know what was going on. And, you know, when I went into the booth, I decided I was going to talk like that. You know, like I'd be spitting in a spittoon. You know,
He came in spurs with saddlebags.
I beat the method actor.
Yeah.
And but no, so Mary said, no, Beau, it's cowboys are bounty hunters. And I said, oh, okay, so I misinterpreted the whole thing. And you know, we knew nothing when we went in. You know, Mary would give us a rundown of the situation, and we didn't hear much of the music. But you know, once we heard the music, that kind of put things in perspective for me. The music was so awesome. But initially, it was just a gig, a fun gig. I'm sure you're aware that when we're doing anime, we go into the booth alone. So, you know, as Steve said, it's us, the actor, alone, with the director on the other side of the glass and the engineer. And so, I didn't have any clue. I mean, I knew I was having fun. I knew it was cool. And the storylines, the writing was good, and the music was awesome. But I had no clue that, 24 years later, we'd be sitting here talking about Cowboy Bebop. It's been a blessing in my life. You know, it's actually changed my life. And I think it's probably similar with the other members of the cast. And the other wonderful aspect is that we are a family. You know, the Bebop crew, we have an open-ended text conversation that started, texting started. And you know, a month or two might pass between conversations, but it's there. And but I don't know about you, Steve.
I'm pregnant with Beau's child right now.
You picked a fine time to tell us.
Well, you know, I know you like surprises, Mark.
Twins?
Yeah, I hope so.
All right.
I know they're kicking around in there.
All right.
More annoying than that dog. I don't know. Anyway,
I told you, don't talk about eyeing.
Kids, animals, women with attitudes. Tell me, Jet, why do we have all three of them neatly gathered on our ship?
Because I wanted to make it your dream.
Thank you. It didn't occur to me how big the show was until we were actually doing a convention years later. We knew that it was cool, like Beau was saying. It was different from anything we'd ever worked on. It was awesome, but we didn't know if anybody would see it. And then it wasn't popular in Japan at all at the time. So it was several years later, we were at a convention. I was sitting on a panel with Mary Elizabeth, and the question came up about acting. And they said, well, what was it like to be an actor in Cowboy Bebop? And I'm looking across the panel, and everybody else on the panel was classically trained. I didn't have any classical training, so I said, well, I'm not really an actor, so I'm kind of awkward with this question. And Mary goes, hold up. She goes, what do you think you've been doing for the last 15 years, you idiot? She goes, it's acting. I went, oh, I'm an actor now. So that was when it really sunk in for me that I had done something of value that people actually liked. I was like, oh, so they're not going to find out that I've been a fraud all this time? It's like that imposter syndrome. So that was when it really clicked in for me. And then it just continues to escalate, I think, when we have moments like Beau's talking about, where somebody will just bare their soul to us and tell us how Bebop helped them, get through a family crisis, or the death of a loved one, or an illness, or stuff like that, or the apocalypse. When we all went through the pandemic together, a lot of people discovered Bebop for the first time, and so we have a whole fresh audience of people that are discovering this now, and it's really exciting for us just to see this new generation be exposed to this kind of work, and it is a masterpiece. It was a masterpiece before we got our hands on it, and it really became our job just not to screw it up, honestly. So we're really grateful that we didn't. Thank you.